weekly stock commentaries where I share my personal opinion and insight of what's happening on some of the stocks listed under the Philippine stock market. If you want exclusive investing related contents in the Philippine stock market, check the pinned comment. Number 1, SM, tracked bargain hunting interest following an overall market rebound. Stabilizing local treasury yield na I think magre-rate hike sila next meeting. Support holds, pabagsak na siya di ba? As core retail banking real estate subsidiaries continue to deliver stable consolidated earnings. So nag-report na to, growing siya ata, no? Ayan. However, di ba? Hindi siya pinapansin. Okay. Kasi SM, just like Jollibee, before pala nabawasan na yung multiple. Trade dito dati ta premium, but since nag-slow down siya, sinesell siya. Okay. Number 2, Meralco. Defensive inflows as analysts highlighted core utilities as safe havens ahead of a key monetary policy decision. So, musta na si Mer? I think di ba ito nakaka-recover from the previous issue of system loss? Charge daw sa kanila. Nag-grow to ng Q2. Elevated power demand during peak seasonal cycles continues to back steady cash flow and earnings projection. So may parating to na growth driver second half, yung kanyang phase 1 ng Terra Solar na I think itong Meralco kasi every quarter growing talaga siya di ba? So binigyan siya ng threat system loss, pero kung mag-grow yung kanyang power distribution na business, pag nag-online yung kanyang Terra Solar, nag-grow yung mga investments niya on power on their power generation segment, baka ang ending i-offset lang nila yung potentially mawawalang profit kapag charge sa kanila yung system loss. Number 3, DHI. Suki to ngayon ng speculation. So ako personally hindi ako nag-speculate. Especially yung speculation ng mga walang laman, no? Wala pang laman. So DHI, dito daw i-consolidate yung mga mining asset ng C family. Diyan pa yung mga Konsunji. So binavalue na siya at 33 billion na wala pang earnings nga So a lot of its future profits and cash flow dinidiscount na ngayon dito. So kapag ganyan, alam mong may mamaipit dyan eventually. And pag nag-correct to, malalim, di ba? Yung mga ganyang speculation, malalalim mag-correct. And syempre, mamaipit, magre-reklamo na naman yan sa iba't ibang social media group, social media pages, kesyo wala daw protection sa mga malilit na retail investor. Pero sila naman yung hindi nag-iisip na sali ng sali sa mga speculative na stock. So DHI, gumawa daw siya ng headline, approval for a 30 billion capital increase to support massive strategic acquisition. Ayan, major transaction involving the Alcantara and Tampakan mining, which is supposed to be pinakamalaking or the most promising na gold and copper mining project in Southeast Asia. Diba? Ganda ng headline. Number 4, Converge, pure play, fiber internet provider, active tactical trading following analyst updates on sector valuation adjustment kasi na siya nag-slow down siya. Okay. So ayan from 2.9 naging 2.4. So kailangan tong i-value like utility stock. dapat magte-trade siya on a high yield. Naalala ko pa tong stock na to dati dito. Ginawan ko to ng analysis dati nung trade siya kasagsagan ng kanyang hype. Sabi ko, masyadong ano yan, no? Grossly overvalued na stock. May nag-comment, nasa na yung bugok na yon. Sabi niya, mali ka. Anong susundin namin? Ikaw yung mga analyst na nagka-cover niyan. Sabi ng mga analyst, ano daw 25 to 30% year over year for the next 5 years. And driven by its technology. Di ba? Doon pala, alam mo ng tanga-tanga yung nag-comment Driven by technology. Puro internet nga halos yung galing yung profit neto. So fast forward today, di ba? Again, valuation is what matters in the long term. Yung hype, nagmamatter lang siya in the short term. Madami na hyper nagkalat dyan sa internet, and if you are not careful, mayayari yung capital mo. High margin residential subscriber expansion and enterprise network. O, di ba? Asan dyan yung tech related nila na na sobrang late ng nila actually, yung profit nila from enterprise. Mostly residential internet na subscription nila. Okay. Number 5, CREC, pure play solar developer. Clean energy portfolio as green energy auction guidelines advance. So yan pa rin kasi yung uso yun sa Pilipinas, no? Puro solar pa-auction ng ganyan-ganyan. So up pa rin siya since IPO. Pero ito, just like all other solar companies, nasa building stage. So far malakas pa rin yung sentiment sa kanya, pero I think magko-correct yan eventually. So 1 billion assuming sabihin na maka 2 billion sila 1 year. Kahit sabihin mong 4 billion in 1 year no. Expensive siya for a power company relative to other power players in the Philippine stock market. Number 6, P-rate, yung Villar. 8% price jump following positive developments in its legal proceedings. Ito yung di ba? Yung na-penalize or naisara nila na power plant, pero malaki pa rin risk dito sa P-rate na to Dadalawa lang yung asset ata niyan Mag-start ng magko-collapse yung nito, yung dividend rate niya. So, medyo hindi pa, pero within this year, mag-start na yan mag-collapse, I think. Kasi nga, last year na nagsara yung isa nilang asset. Number 7, Megawide. Structure builder. Featured on watchlist updates following new order book rollouts, and again, favorite na promote to ngayon. So guys, pag may pinopromote heavily yung mga broker, nagrarally na siya, I'd say, do your own research bago kayo pasok ng pasok. Actually, pag may mga sikat na stock, dapat medyo, nag-iingat kayo. Maganda siyang tignan short term, pero long term, doon mo makikita. So far, they're decent, Pero nag-collapse yung kanilang revenue pala, First half flattish. So maganda sentiment kasi nga madaming nagpro-promote dyan ngayon. So driver, public infrastructure, wala na Meron ba? So ang meron sa kanila ngayon is ito, yung kanilang precast na construction na pinapauso. Provide revenue visibility across fiscal quarters. So Megawide is one of those companies na may malaking utang. Number 8, Monde. Defensive accumulation as consumer staple demand shielded earnings from macro volatility. So Monde, okay na yung kanyang Q2. So nag-rebound na siya from bottom, ngayon sideways. So Monde, ayan, grow siya na Q2. First half growing. And I believe na factor in na lahat ng impairment losses ng kanyang meat alternative. So, it could be a recovery play. For Monde, corn noodles and bakery volume, recovery offset, input price adjustment, blah, blah, blah. Number 9, RLC. Mixed sector movement as property stocks navigated shifting central bank interest rate expectations. So, RLC is one of the property stock na nag-report ng growth sa Q2. Ilan lang sila actually. One of them is RLC. Bakit? Kasi malakas yung kanyang leasing, no? Leasing income. Ayan, Q2 growing. First half, growing. Recurring revenue from commercial malls, office space leases, and hotel operations provides steady cash flow support. Number 10, yung namang rate, no? Steady tracking from yield-seeking investors, prioritizing regular quarterly dividend payout. So, pag nagkaroon ng interest rate hike, I think magko-correct to mga to pero gra-rally siya ngayon, no? Tapos dinatayo ng dividend ulit recently pero not that significant. Ay, hindi pwede na, no? From 0.117 nanggaling sa 0.1049. So, mataas pa rin daw yung occupancy rate ng kanyang BPO. Na BPO kasi yan eh. Yan yung i-disrupt ng artificial intelligence eh. Eventually. Number 11, RRHI. Wala na to. Nag-delist na. Number 12, Cemex. Concrete. Ayan, Concrete Holdings. Awak na ng mga Kunsunji. And nabawasan lang yung loss nila. Diba? So, potentially, turnaround story. Pero I think malayo-layo pa yung turnaround story niyan. Lalo na humihina yung property sector, no? So, ayan, sobrang layo pa niya, no? From IPO level. Plant efficiency improvements and supply chain optimization remain key drivers for margin recovery. Pag nagkaroon ulit ng mga big ticket projects sa Pilipinas, ganyan, kaliwat kanan, baka doon siya makabawi. But for now, parang wala. Number 13, Globe. Stable institutional buying as dividend yielding defensive plays. Pag may optimism on GCash, baka doon siya pitikin, no? So far, medyo nagko-correct. Steady expansion in data monetization, enterprise IT, and fintech. Actually, nag-decline siya ng Q2, mostly due to depreciation. Pero yung kanyang ICT is actually growing. Yung ma-search ni Globe, wala ka na nga dyan. Yun na yung niyang ICT still growing. Fintech ata, parang nag-slow down eh. Pero lumalaki yung contribution niya sa overall profit ng Globe. Number 14, Metrobank. Investors monitored systematic loan growth and net interest margins ahead of policy rate updates. So MBT, part of the big three, and siya lang ngayon yung still trading below book value. So current book value niya is 91 pa oh. Di ba? Meanwhile, BDO, BPI, nag-trade yung ngayon in line or a little bit above their book value. So 91 dito pa yun, no? 35% possible upside. Ang tanong kung pupuntahan pa niya, no? Strong capital adequacy ratios and active corporate lending keep balance sheet metrics well positioned. Actually, mas maganda yung balance sheet nito compared kay BPI and maybe even better than BDO. Pero significantly mas maganda yung balance sheet niya talaga kay BPI. And number 15, APX. So may momentum na naman yung mga gold. Every time na may news about yung karoon ng weakness sa financial structure ng USA, yung narrative ng dollar is a toilet paper, ganon. Kapag lumalas yung ganong narrative, lumalas yung gold. Okay. So, pinipitik yung gold. So, yung mga gold stock, pinipitik na naman. Ayan, APX. Of course, nag-report to ng growth sa Q2. Hanggang ano pa yan, no? Third or maybe fourth quarter pa. Ayan, kasi mas mataas pa yung level ng gold ngayon compared to same period last year. Ayan, sector-wide surge during the late week index recovery. Catalyst, strong global bullion markets combined with regional source project or resource project developments generated aggressive buying. Bakit? Kasi namumuro na naman ang headline yung USA about the weakness na kanilang financials or financial system.